about what we're here to do at Forethought, it's not just about the technology. When we think about what we do, we call it human-centered AI because it's always about humans. It's about how we interact with businesses as customers or employees or otherwise. Forethought is really here to accelerate that, to bring intelligence, efficiency, and make people's lives better and not have to be put on hold every time they have a really important question.
We're on that tip of the iceberg where people are starting to realize how impactful this can be. And I think that drives us every day. And what's really, really rewarding is seeing how happy and how much we have changed our customers' lives.
The capacity for AI to impact lives in a positive way is I don't think we've even come close to the potential that's available to us.
With natural language understanding techniques that we're using, we can really help our AI agent to better understand the intent behind the questions that a customer may be asking.
And our customers are seeing results. They're seeing over a 90% accuracy in ticket resolution. And at the same time, they're seeing over 20% increase in agent efficiency.
And being human-centered AI, we want to focus on the human experience across the world. And that's why recently we've actually expanded this to include over 100 languages supported by Forethought's AI.
Humans are not very good at processing a lot of data, but we're very good at looking at outcome and make difficult decisions. Machine learning, AI, if you think about it, is great at processing lots of data. And so imagine a world where if you can take the best of both worlds, where the machine crunches the data, we make the decision, that's huge.
I think it's an important distinction to make that AI doesn't solve every problem. A lot of problems shouldn't be solved by AI, and it's important to be able to tell the difference between something that maybe we can handle automatically, something that needs a human touch, and something that maybe needs some extra information for the agent to use, but still does require a human touch.
We know that a chatbot can't solve all of our customers' issues. When a customer has a more deep or maybe more complex issue, we take that issue and we route it to the right support agent using our triage technology. And once that ticket gets to the right support agent, we want to make sure that agent feels empowered. So we empower them with the right resources, the right knowledge, so that they feel confident, prepared to really be able to solve our customers' issues.
My true North Star as a forethinker is to be able to navigate through multiple different websites, knowing that I can get my answers timely and accurately because I can see the Forethought logo across all of them.
Well, I look forward to the day when Forethought becomes that layer of intelligence that powers the enterprise, regardless which function, and it becomes the technology that makes the human interaction that much better, that much more efficient, and truly unlock human potential.
It makes me happy to help other people. And at the end of the day, I feel good leaving knowing that somebody had a good experience.
If I had to say one thing to everybody listening, I would say this: think outside the bot.
Good morning and good afternoon. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome you to Forward 2022. I'm Dion Nicholas, CEO and co-founder of Forethought, and I could not be more excited to be with you today. Thank you for joining us, whether virtually or in person, and we hope you'll stick around because it's going to be an amazing day filled with incredible content. At Forethought, our purpose is to make every touch point between humans and organizations faster and more intelligent. To do this, we provide AI-powered solutions for customer support teams that enable them to decrease cost and transform the customer experience. Ultimately, we believe AI will change the world for the better. And we believe in people. And there's massive potential when you combine the power of people with the power of AI. At Forward, we're going to talk about how AI can transform the customer experience. And we've got an exciting day lined up. You'll hear from amazing thought leaders including an exclusive fireside chat with Ashton Kutcher that you're not going to want to miss at 11:45 Pacific. You'll hear inspiring stories and best practices from CX leaders on how they overcame common challenges. Stay with us, because you'll also see a product announcement years in the making. And ultimately, we hope you'll leave today with a set of tangible takeaways that you and your team can implement right away to make your lives easier and enhance your customers' experience. But before we get to all that, I want to take a moment to say thank you. At Forethought, we began with a lofty vision to transform the customer experience using AI. And that vision won TechCrunch Disrupt in 2018. Since then, it's been a thrilling journey, and it's humbling to get to work with each and every one of you who are pushing this industry forward. We truly would not be here without the support of our entire ecosystem, our bright and hardworking employees, our customers who push us to solve the hard problems every day, and our partners who enable our mutual success. Thank you all for being on this journey with us. And what a journey it's been. We live in a time of unprecedented change and digital transformation. We've seen paradigm-shifting innovation in nearly every aspect of our lives, from the way that we communicate with each other to how we interact with businesses. The pandemic has only accelerated this digital transformation as consumers lean more and more into digital channels and online answers. This increased demand takes a toll on customers and support teams alike. Think back, if you will, to the last time you were stuck on hold. Maybe you bought a cool new product and it just didn't work as advertised, so you opened up a chat with support. Or maybe you were at work and you had a simple question for HR or IT, and so you shot off an email to your support desk. For me, it was when I was checking in for a flight on my way to my best friend's wedding. I was running late, and for the life of me, the airline would not let me check in online. So I had to call support to check in or risk missing the flight altogether. And in my moment of panic, on the other end of the phone, I was greeted by elevator music. Every time you interact with a business, your experience will determine how you think about that business and whether or not you'll come back again in the future. Now, imagine the customer support experience of the future that is AI-powered. As a customer, imagine getting fast answers from customer support and taking action without ever waiting on hold. And imagine having your urgent question sent directly to the right agent best equipped to provide a fast and intelligent resolution. This is the promise of human-centered AI, a set of cohesive AI-powered technologies that enhance the experience, the human experience, for both customers and support agents. In other words, AI that is built for humans. Now, I'd like to invite up a few of my colleagues to cover 4 key aspects of human-centered AI, particularly how it can empower customers to self-serve, enrich support ticket data with empathy and understanding, boost productivity for agents, and maximize support ROI. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome up Sophia Singh, Lead Product Manager at Forethought, to talk about empowering customers to self-serve. Sophia, take it away.
Thank you, Dion. Let me first start with a poll. Show of hands, how many of you have ever said the words, "I love chatbots"? Not seeing any hands in the room? Right, nobody enjoys the typical chatbot experience. Why don't we take a minute and imagine, what would it be like if we ever engaged with a chatbot in real life? Let's experience this together.
shed. It's on fire. Did you hear what I said?
Hello. How can I help you today?
I just told you there's a fire.
It sounds like you're experiencing a problem. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. To assist you, I'll need a little more information.
What else could you possibly need? Ah! You know what? Forget it. I'll do it myself.
Upgrade to Firefighter Pro for faster results.
You wouldn't deal with this chatbot in real life. It's time to upgrade your support organization with human-centered AI.
Would you at least have a towel handy?
Forethought. Think outside the box.
Wow. To say that was a frustrating experience is definitely an understatement. And yet, that's what so many of us as consumers experience anytime we engage with a typical chatbot. What's interesting is that many of us do want to self-serve. We want to be able to get answers to our questions fast and accurately without wanting to wait on the line for a human agent. Speed and convenience is key. But the self-service experience is lacking, which creates what we call the self-service dilemma. From the perspective of a company, you want your customers to be able to have a satisfactory and delightful customer support experience, but you also want your customers to self-serve without needing to talk to a human agent. The self-service dilemma occurs when these two goals are in conflict. On the one hand, increasing deflection rate, increasing self-service rate is important, but that usually leads to a decrease in customer satisfaction, or CSAT. And there appears to be no way around it. You either decide which metric you want to prioritize, or just find a mediocre balance of each. But it does not have to be that way. When we put the human experience first, we get AI agents that can actually do both. They can increase customer satisfaction while promoting self-service. This is where human-centered AI agents come in. They have two defining characteristics. First, they work at scale, answering questions quickly and accurately. And second, they work hand in hand with human agents, understanding which questions are better understood by an AI agent, and then routing the remaining high consideration cases to the right human agent. At Forethought, we developed Solve to empower every customer to self-serve with human-centered AI agents. Solve is not just a traditional chatbot. Solve is a robust and powerful AI agent that is built on true applications of natural language understanding, meaning no more chatbots beholden to decision trees. Solve can understand the customer's intent, what they're asking for, ask follow-up questions, and then provide accurate answers. Solve also works across many channels, so the AI agent can answer questions via email, web widget, WhatsApp, and many other social messaging channels. Of course, some customers don't just want answers. They want true actions to be taken to truly resolve their questions. With Solve, you can easily build intricate workflows involving automations so that your customers are guaranteed a true resolution, whether that's resetting their password, updating account info, or updating their flight. Customers can go 100% of the way with a Solve AI agent. And that saves time for your human support team to truly focus on the cases that require human discretion. I know that the sound of creating an AI agent may be hefty, but we want to make it easy for you, our CX partners, to get started right away, which is why we've launched these pre-packaged AI models that cover the most common questions across industries like e-commerce, fintech, software, so you no longer have to spend hours building every single workflow possible. Simply activate these models and let the AI do the rest. And if you don't know which models are the highest impact for your business, don't worry, we got you. We can automatically analyze all your customers' data and then recommend the right intents, the right models for you to add to your support team. So think about it this way. Your AI agent can continuously evolve and grow to be more robust from learning from your customers' inquiries. So now that you've seen how human-centered AI can help resolve the self-service dilemma, I would love to invite up my colleague, Dave Ginsberg, our Chief Customer Officer, to talk about how you can enrich and prioritize tickets in a whole new way. Dave, take it away.
Hi, good morning. There's a often referenced quote, very famous, by Ralph Waldo Emerson that says, "It's the journey, not the destination." And while that absolutely may be true if you're backpacking across Europe or you're exploring Costa Rica with your friends, I would contend in our world, CX, it's the complete opposite. It is about the destination. Before I dive in, please allow me to share a bit of a personal story. Fairly recently, my father passed away. It was an enormously stressful and difficult time for my family, in particular, my mother. Now, perhaps it was a generational thing, but my mother really had never been involved in day-to-day finances. And we all wanted to help her out. So I reluctantly raised my hand and said, let me take care of this for you. And my reluctance was based on the fact that I hate managing my own finances, but I figured this would bring her great relief. And how hard could this be? She's with a major bank. I will simply contact them. I will give them all the information they need to allow me access to the accounts. I will download bank statements, have her credit card statements sent to my email address, set up auto pay, check on investments, that sort of thing. So I get online, I open the chat, and I start going back and forth with the agent. It was clear, to me at least, that this was not going to resolve my request, and it also was clear to the agent because they ended up sending me a link to their help center. I click on the link, which was completely wrong. I think it took me to something about opening a small business account. And I was searching and searching for keyword after keyword to get the information that I needed to be helpful. Well, after searching for what seemed like forever, I did find an email address. And so I wrote what I thought was a brilliantly clear email with all the information and my intent on what I was attempting to do. The emails went back and forth for days, and I got that dreaded statement in one of the emails that said, "Please pick up the phone and call this 800 number." So I did that. And once I called, not once or twice, but 5 times, I was transferred to different agents. And the hardship for me was not just the wait time and repeating the information, but every time I spoke to an agent, I felt like I had to relive a piece of the grief of the loss of a parent. It was hard. Now, when it was all done, which took over a month to get everything resolved, being admittedly a bit of a CX geek, I thought, why was it that this was so challenging? Why was it that I was so frustrated? And where I landed, in terms of my own root cause analysis, was the bank simply did not understand my mindset. They were completely ignorant in terms of my emotional state. Additionally, they seemed blind to the fact that this was a very unique situation for me. Now, admittedly, with almost any support organization, the large amount of cases and tickets that they deal with are almost transactional, right? They happen extremely frequently for users and customers, something like a password reset, or if you're in e-commerce, what is the status of my order? And they really don't require much emotional support, sensitivity, or empathy. However, in my case, complete opposite. The frequency was as low as it could be. It was 0. It had never happened before. And the emotional sensitivity, the desired empathy was through the roof. In essence, I was in crisis mode. And I would argue when a customer is in crisis mode, a bank needs to understand that, and they can, through language and tone. And they need to find a way, based on the initial information, to actually react in a way that's helpful. And most importantly of all, most critically, is to get you to the right place as quickly as possible that has people with deep-rooted expertise that can help you out. And the key to getting you to the right place with the right expertise lies in AI-powered automation. And what AI-powered automation allows you to do is have an empowered team. And this team can do what they do best: be helpful, empathetic humans. And this is where human-centered AI can be the customer comprehension engine of your entire support organization. And in order for your AI to be human-centered, it needs to do three things. It needs to recognize the mindset of your customer. It needs to be able to prioritize these high-stakes, difficult situations and deal with them by setting up the routing to the right destination. And finally, it needs to cut through the noise, often attributed by spam, and allow the customer to focus on the signal. And it needs to do all of these things in an automated fashion that's quick or even instantaneous, because what that does, obviously, is cut down on the manual effort for your organization and really allow agents to focus on the most impactful things. Forethought's triage solution is an extremely powerful product that enables you to comprehend and deeply understand customer inquiries at scale. Triage is able to enrich all of your data by detecting language, intent, sentiment, and other characteristics that allow you to arm your agents with the information they need to apply the right degree of empathy. Triage also is excellent at detecting all the things that could be happening from a mindset perspective and allowing you to route these cases to the appropriate subject matter expertise. And finally, with over 90% accuracy, Triage can detect spam, and this is like being able to wave a magic wand and instantly correct the effectiveness of your support organization. So think about what I would be talking to you right now if my mother's bank had these capabilities. The adjectives and themes that I would be focused on would be helpfulness, rapid response, kindness, empathy, action-oriented. So with all due respect to Emerson, I'd rather forget that journey that I went through and focus on the destination. If you're interested in learning more about Triage, in a session we have coming up soon, you can hear from our product team about what we're doing, where we've been, and where we're going. However, if you want to give it a test drive now, you'll see a URL on the screen, and from there, you can instantly get your ticket data tagged and enriched and connected to your favorite help center. With that said, I would like to turn it over to my good friend and colleague, Megan Murphy, Senior Director of Sales, who's going to talk to you about optimizing the agent experience. Take it away, Meg.
Thanks, Dave. And thanks so much for sharing such a personal story. And while my hope is that we can't relate to that exact scenario, my assumption is we've all experienced these situations where what we expected ended up being the exact opposite. In Dave's case, he expected support, but yet was unsupported. How many of us have been so frustrated by these experiences where we end up finding ourselves screaming directly into our phone to speak to an agent, speak to a representative, or put you in touch with a human, as if it's suddenly going to put you at the top of the queue and magically solve your problem? And how many of you have experienced these moments where it's not the first time we're saying what our problem is, it's now our third time we're saying the exact same problem, but to another agent, where we end up finding ourselves saying, listen, I understand that this isn't your fault, but can you please just help me with someone who can best help me with my problem? These challenges that we have when dealing with support aren't uncommon. They're actually so frequent that in a recent survey, when given the option to choose to hand out parking tickets, deal with an automated support queue, or repeat ourselves multiple times to different agents, the overwhelming majority actually opted in to handing out parking tickets. And as someone from Boston who had her fair share of parking tickets, that's a lot to carry. And that weight of this narrative that we have around support is it falls on the shoulders of our support agents. And before they can even pick up the phone and say, how can I help you, there's someone on the other line screaming. But why is it? Why does this challenge have to exist today when there are so many moments around us where human-centered AI is helping us? And it's in the moments that we're not even asking for it. Those are the moments where we're running out the door and we're reminded to grab our umbrella because even though there isn't a cloud in the sky, it's going to rain later today and we're going to need it. Or those moments that we actually planned for, where we blocked off the back half of our afternoon in order to make our daughter's first hockey game. But we get a nudge that we've got to leave 30 minutes earlier simply because our commute just doubled due to a pileup on the highway. Why is it that when we're not asking for support, we're being met with it? But then when we're asking for support, it's falling short. It's because the way that we view solving the problems that we experience across our support organizations are viewed in silos. And the way that we go about approaching solving this problem needs to be viewed in a holistic, central way, surrounding our customers, the humans on the other side. Because the truth is, when we plug in AI isn't meant to solve all of our problems. It's meant to solve those mundane tasks so that our humans can focus on those more complicated tasks. And while they're doing that, they're supposed to feel enabled and empowered to actually solve that problem timely and accurately and with confidence so that when they have a smile on their face, they actually truly mean it. Forethought Assist is your support agent's Swiss Army knife. And what I mean by that is it actually lives in a place where they're already spending the majority of their time, right within their help desk. So that when those more complicated tickets come their way, that they need extra support in solving, there are recommendations surfacing up the needle in the haystack so that they can find the direct answer to help serve their customer. And so we've covered a lot today, and I'm so excited to welcome on stage our senior solutions architect, Zia Syed, to watch Forethought live in action.
Thanks so much, Megan. All right, all of you incredible people here at Forward, who is ready to see some AI in action? To showcase Forethought's AI at work, I've gone ahead and assembled a few stories from our favorite intergalactic multi-universe crime-fighting superhero team. Let's first visit the story from our friendly neighborhood crime-fighting intern, Peter. Peter recently shattered the screen on his brand new Stark Electronics phone. And unfortunately for Peter, now he needs to go about setting up a repair appointment. In this scenario, he heads to Stark Electronics' website, and as he's looking for support, he interacts with Forethought's first avenue to self-service, intent-based workflows. With Forethought Solve, all Peter has to do is type in what he needs support with, and Forethought's intent detection capabilities will immediately launch him into the corresponding workflow. Now, this intent detection capability I'm talking about is powered by natural language understanding and natural language processing, which are two of the cornerstones to true artificial intelligence. What this means is that Peter can actually position his question in any way, and Forethought Solve will still be able to launch him into the corresponding workflow without him being forced to use any specific keywords. Now, what's amazing here, you'll notice, is that Solve is actually able to proactively connect to Stark Electronics' backend systems to gain a contextual understanding on who Peter is as a consumer. Here, you're able to see that Stark Electronics is able to provide Solve with the zip code where Peter lives. And from that perspective, Solve is able to tailor the response to Peter, saying this is the repair appointment you can get at the store that's closest to your location. And from that perspective, we're able to provide Peter with a very tailored experience, which is great, because Peter did not want to have to bust out his super suit to get across town. Now, what's even more powerful about Forethought Solve is that if Peter wanted to change his question entirely and ask about something completely unrelated to his experience, he can do so. And Forethought Solve will, 1, immediately push him over to that new intent, and 2, still maintain any contextual understanding that was found in the upcoming experience. This is really powerful, by the way, because this means customers can now solve multifaceted, complex inquiries themselves. And what it means for Peter is that he can go ahead and position a question unrelated to this, for example, headphone availability, immediately be pushed to the inventory workflow, and still maintain the understanding as to what his preferred store is. Now, what's also incredible about Forethought is we can actually leverage the fact that Peter suggested a purchasing intent. And with that understanding of intent and extra information from the back-end system, we can go ahead and craft a very custom experience for Peter. In this case, leveraging the fact that his birthday was a couple weeks ago. You can see here that Forethought Solve is able to quickly craft this experience for Peter, which you can imagine by offering him a discount, drives brand recognition, and brand loyalty. Now, this is when Peter realizes he may have questions about other things. In fact, a lot of other questions. I mean, if there's a repair shop on Earth, are there repair shops on other planets? What happens to warranty if he goes through interdimensional travel? I mean, what also happens if his phone gets caught in a snap? Well, fortunately for Peter, even these free-form, uncommon questions that he has can be answered and resolved by Forethought Solve. And that's Solve's second avenue to self-service, by the way, which is intelligent and dynamic article surfacing. From this perspective, Peter can go ahead and phrase a question again about pretty much anything. And even if a workflow doesn't exist, Forethought Solve will go through your knowledge-based articles, your FAQs, and any public-facing documentation you may have to surface a response back up to Peter that's accurate. And again, what's really important here is that this is powered by that natural language understanding and processing I had mentioned, because you can see here, Peter doesn't really ask about two-step verification, but it's exactly what he needs to resolve his inquiry. And therefore, by using Forethought Solve, Peter is able to self-serve across a number of different questions and get the support he needs for himself. How about a round of applause for Peter? Now, there will be times when customer inquiries require more of a human touch. Let's dive into Bruce's story here. Bruce, like Peter, purchased a phone from Stark Electronics, but unfortunately for him, as he was transferring his data over, he managed to lose all of his photos and videos. Now, I don't know about you, but I would not want to be around Bruce when he had this realization. That sounds extremely painful. Well, Bruce goes ahead and tries to contact Stark Electronics via phone, only to get caught in their IVR system, so he crashed his email instead, knowing fully well it might take hours, if not days, for him to get the support that he needs. And that's when Forethought's Triage jumps into action. Triage enables the second step to empowering your customer support experience with AI-driven workflows. And this is done because Triage can enrich tickets as soon as they hit the help desk with the information that they need, including things like intent, sentiment, and a lot more. And this enrichment of data, as you can see, makes it so that we can route and categorize and escalate tickets to the right agent at the right time with the right amount of urgency. For Bruce specifically, this means that as soon as his email hits the help desk, he's able to get his information or his ticket tagged and escalated. And from that perspective, there is enough information here to avoid any sort of time-consuming case hops, and we can, in fact, give him the fastest time resolution that he's looking for in this dire situation. And from Agent Romanov's perspective, this has actually already been pumped to the top of our queue as a business-critical issue. And that way, Bruce is able to get the support he needs from Agent Romanov in a timely fashion. So let's give it up for Bruce and Agent Romanov. And this assistance that we're talking about actually hints at that final piece of the support puzzle, which is empowering your support agents or the unsung heroes that Megan mentioned using Forethought Assist. Steve recently had an issue with his phone when he was looking to upgrade it, and although he typically heads to Forethought Solve to get his questions self-served, this is a unique circumstance where there is no public-facing documentation available. Fortunately for Steve, Triage is able to automatically identify this as a technical error and has gone ahead and classified this towards Agent Coulson's highly advanced queue. Now, from Agent Coulson's perspective, this is the type of ticket he acknowledges often and addresses often, technical errors. But for the life of him, this specific error code is something that he cannot recall. Now, Agent Coulson begins to panic a little bit. After all, he's stumped, and he doesn't want to encounter the fury of a certain manager. Well, have no fear, Agent Coulson, because your CEO, Tony, just took the first step towards agent empowerment by launching Forethought Assist. Assist is Forethought's agent empowerment tool that really enables agents to get access to all the information they might need proactively through artificial intelligence. In this case, as you're able to see, we can surface up articles, past tickets, and even macros or templates for Agent Coulson to leverage to navigate through Steve's inquiry. Now, what's neat here is that this all happens within a single view, and it happens automatically, which means Agent Coulson doesn't need to go anywhere else, nor does he need to search for the information he's looking for. From this perspective, Agent Coulson can also take a look at articles from other locations. For example, the internal Confluence system that Stark Electronics has within this single point of view. Now, if Agent Coulson so desires, he can take a look at past tickets, for example, in terms of how Agent Romanov may have handled this when she encountered it. He can also take a look at macros or templates, which, again, are pre-canned responses that can be auto-populated with information for quick responses out to Steve. If he so desires, Agent Coulson can also create a personal note for himself going forward, so that if he were to encounter this issue again, he has an easy understanding on how to go about this in the future. And with that, Agent Coulson has now leveraged Assist to respond to a question he knew very little about, and he can get back to Steve right away. Now, what's important here is that Steve, of course, gets his phone up and running, only to break it again 2 days later. This time, really break it. I mean, it is completely destroyed. So he messages in looking for information on warranty. In this situation, Agent Coulson once again has easy access to resolution using Assist, this time through Assist Automations. And as you can see here, Assist Automations enables agents to get quick and easy access to backend systems that they might use on their day-to-day interactions. And in this case, Agent Coulson is able to leverage the device ID from Steve to search up whether or not Steve still is under warranty, and fortunately for Steve, he's covered. So let's give it up for Agent Coulson and Steve, who were able to navigate this together using Forethought Assist. Now, these are fun stories, but hopefully I was able to paint the picture for you in terms of how Forethought is aiming to address every step of the ticket support lifecycle. In the first case, if the question is easy to resolve, let's provide self-service opportunities for our customers, even give them access to back-end systems for automation. If the ticket requires immediate escalation, let's provide that avenue to immediate escalation without an agent having to go manually through tickets or without the customers having to click through a dropdown. And finally, if the ticket is complex, let's give our agents the information that they need from the get-go so they don't need to go searching for it, which causes, obviously, delays to getting back to the customer. Now, this is just a few examples of how Forethought's artificial intelligence is bringing the future of CX into the here and now. And hopefully that paints the picture of how human-centered artificial intelligence really is transforming and empowering your user experience, your agent experience, and the customer experience. However, there still is one lingering question. For support leaders, how do you drive the measurement of ROI? And then from there, how do you push forward growth in your support organization? Well, to handle this entirely complex topic, it's my absolute honor to welcome onto stage the head of product here at Forethought, EJ Liao. Let's give it up for EJ.
Thank you, Zia. Wow, the demo was out of this world, yeah? Yeah, I'm a product guy, and I spend an incredible amount of time with a lot of amazing product managers creating what we hope are revolutionary products and technology. But what happened if we just build whatever we wanted to and never talk to the customer? Well, we will probably be excited and super thrilled with what we created. But to the customer, it's probably frustrating. It's not going to provide the product experience or the usefulness that they would need. This is why have a deep understanding of your customer is more important than ever. And this is where customer support team plays a critical role. Now think about how much data your customer support team collects on a regular basis. I mean, what other lines of business in your enterprise that is constantly interacting with customers? Whether it's collecting feedback, solving problems, how are you using that data? Well, if you're like many of the customers, support leaders that we talk to, you probably have more data than you can make sense of. Having lots of data is a good thing, but customer support data has one unique challenge. Majority of your data and the most useful part of your data is in a format that's known as unstructured data. Let me take a moment and explain what I mean by this. Structured data is likely what you're working with today. Think of this as data that could easily be organized into spreadsheet, analyzed by BI or analytic platforms out there today. For example, your KPIs, CSAT, NPS. While it's easy for human to analyze this type of data, but it's missing the depth that you need to truly understand your customer. So the usefulness of this type of data is likely to be limited. On the other hand, unstructured data makes up over 80% of your customer support data. And it gives you the incredible insights that you need to understand your customer. This type of data includes email exchange with your customers, phone conversations, video support calls. But analyze this type of data is extremely difficult and much more difficult to get it right, and not to mention doing it at scale. And while customer support teams understand and see the value of unstructured data, there simply hasn't been a tool that's effective at getting the job done. Well, so the question is, how can I leverage the unstructured data and get proactive insights from my data? You may have guessed it. Want to shout it out loud? Human-centered AI. Woo! Yes, human-centered AI gives you the complete view of your customer's needs and behavior. This allows you to take meaningful actions to improve your customer experience, as well as maximize ROI. And today, we're thrilled to introduce a new product, Forethought Discover. Discover empowers you with proactive CX insights that's powered by human-centered AI. And it allows you to take meaningful actions as well as maximize ROI. With Discover, you unleash the power of unstructured data without the heavy lifting. No need to bring in the data scientists, the ML engineers. Just sit back and let the Forethought human-centered AI do its thing. Discover will automatically surface up all the insights from your customer support interactions. It will track the most common topics, requests, and opportunities from product and sales feedback. You can take this insight and up-level your product experience and collaborate with your product team seamlessly. And soon, Discover will give you AI-powered coaching, and it will give you intelligent recommendation on the next workflow to create or the knowledge article to build and publish. Discover takes away the guesswork so that you can transform support organization from a cost center to a growth driver. Now, I won't be able to cover all the goodness that Discover has to offer, but I hope you'll join us in a later session as the Forethought product team give you a sneak preview of Discover. Thank you all. Back to you, Dion.
Woo! Thank you, EJ, Megan, Dave, Zia, and Sophia. Is that not the future of customer experience or what? So today, we've talked about the 4 ways that human-centered AI can up-level your support team. We've talked about empowering customers to self-serve, enriching support ticket data with empathy and understanding, boosting agent productivity, and driving ROI for proactive insights. Now, when I think about these capabilities, there's one company in particular that does a phenomenal job at all 4 of these things, and that is Upwork. Upwork is a global work marketplace. And with their distributed workforce of customer support agents and talent, providing a world-class customer support experience is paramount for their business. So I would love to invite up my friend, Brandon Savage, the VP of Customer Experience and Trust at Upwork, to talk about customer experience. Brandon, hey, what's up, man? Good to see ya. All right, so Brandon, thanks so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the invite, the air conditioning. It's great to be here.
Exactly. So, talking about customer experience, tell us, at Upwork, what is your vision for the future of customer experience?
Sure, yeah. I think for me, creating a vision for a world-class support organization is really about predictability. And to me, that means, I have to be able to deliver consistently predictable results for the business and for the customer experience. And so, your team, really gets this. And what I've appreciated in listening to everyone talk today is they understand that the support experience is part of the product experience. It's how people interact with your product, how they experience your brand. What they take away from the support experience has a real impact on the business. And so that means, for me, I really need to be in the business of getting good at predicting what those customer experiences are and encouraging us to build support experiences that are foundational to the product experience. And so, to me, it's really about that, human-centric, customer-centric experience that I can deliver consistently great results around.
I love that. That concept of delivering predictably great results that are always above and beyond customers' expectations, I feel like that is the key to great customer support. So when you think about that vision of what you want support and the customer experience to be like, what are your biggest obstacles today in achieving that vision?
There are a lot of obstacles. There's no shortage of problems to go solve. But I think, the key ones for me are data availability, right? If you need predictability, you need to know what you're measuring, you need to know how to measure it, and increasingly those measurements are coming out of different tools and different experiences. So putting that data together in a way that allows me to measure the results of my business is a challenge. I think tooling is a challenge. If your support organization or anyone's support organizations are like mine, we use a lot of different tools to try to support the customers where they are in the most effective and efficient ways. And so connecting the threads between those tools and experiences to deliver a consistent user experience throughout is a challenge. And then people. I have a very large, very globally distributed, very loosely connected workforce, and being able to ensure that they have access to the right training information at the right times, the right new articles about the right new products, that they're delivering answers with consistency and brand voice and values. That's a real challenge for us.
That's amazing. So data, tools, and people. It's really important when you think about all these things. And as a technologist, as an AI person, I'm always curious about, well, one, leveraging the data so that you can build better tools and empower your people. So how has AI impacted that at Upwork?
So yeah, to full transparency, we're at the very beginning of our AI journey, but I'm all in on it. I believe in it. I believe in it as the future of how to run a successful support organization. But I believe in it, I think, for a lot of the same reasons that you believe in it. Not because it's going to replace what humans do, but because it's going to provide that connective tissue between human experiences, right? And so my business is really to get the right human in front of the right problem at the right time so that we can do what humans do best, which is express empathy and do complex problem solving and all of those things. And so anything that distracts from that is problematic and costly. And so I really see AI in our experience in working with Forethought and other vendors is that it helps us connect the dots between those experiences. So whether it's triaging something up front and getting someone quickly to a support article because that's just a faster way to solve their problem, or it's understanding that someone is already upset and getting them in front of someone who can deal with that more effectively, or understanding the problem and the product area that they're complaining about so I can connect them with an expert. Like, those are real assets to me. And then extending beyond that, obviously, connecting my global workforce, giving them access to consistent information in an ever-changing technology environment. Like, these are all really critical things to run an effective support organization.
This is super powerful. Brandon, thank you so much. So for our audience who are in person or who are online with us today, you run a global workforce. So whether we're talking about customer support, whether we're talking about AI, business in general, what is your biggest piece of advice you have for the audience of Forward today?
Biggest piece of advice. I would say the thing that I am most passionate about and that I would encourage everyone to be passionate about is making your support experience part of your product experience, right? It again is it's one of the only times in technology company that you're going to interact with a human as part of the product experience. And if you understand the customer journey from needing support to receiving support and then back again, you're going to build a much more effective both product and support organization. So treat support like a product feature and treat support experiences like product experiences.
I love it. You heard it here, folks. Treat your support experience just like a product experience. Brandon, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Glad to have you. All right, and thank you all for joining us today. That is it for our keynote speech, but stay with us. We have 3 incredible tracks of content throughout the rest of the day that you're going to find amazing, exciting, and insightful. So thank you for joining us, and welcome to Forward 2022.